Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Mind Over Matter with Sankit. In this episode, we'll be talking about the importance of communication in relationships. So I generally tell my close ones that communication is the most important thing in relationships because it allows us to make clear those things that might not really satisfy us. For instance, if you are having some problem with your close ones, if you have some problem with your parents or with your siblings, it is a lot better to communicate the problem directly rather than keeping it within yourself. When you start keeping emotions within yourself, when you keep it reserved within yourselves, the emotion tends to become toxic because you'll keep on thinking about it within yourself, you'll keep on ruminating on it, but then when you do not tell it openly, the problem will never get solved unless you communicate it to other people. So it is very necessary for you to talk about your emotions with people. Now this applies to all sorts of people who may be close to you, but also people whom you might not be that close to, or even complete strangers. It's very beneficial for you if you can be an open book, meaning you do not really have anything to hide. In order to do this, you need to let go of your own fears. If, for instance, if you are an introvert, you might not really speak much, even with your close ones. But then it is necessary for you to talk about things. Now this doesn't mean you keep on talking to everyone. Here we are talking about communicating important things like your emotions and feelings and things that actually matter to you, things that affect your everyday life. So for instance, let us take your relationship with a stranger to start with. You might say, why would I need to tell my emotions to a stranger? But then if a stranger is doing something which you do not really like, for instance, if your belief doesn't match with the belief of a particular stranger, it is better to openly talk about things. For instance, if you're having a difficulty due to the way a person is standing on a crowded public bus, it is recommended that you tell it to them. As long as you do not tell them, you'll have this fear about what they might think about you or how they might respond to your request. But you'll slowly realize that most often than not, the strangers will respond very well to your requests because they aren't monsters after all. They're also people, so they also understand because they also experience similar things at times. Now, in the worst case, if someone responds badly to you, you have nothing to lose. It's their problem because they are throwing out their negative emotions. You do not really need to be affected by it. You did your job, which was to communicate it properly to them. But if they still do not understand it, it is not a problem on your part, it is a problem on their part. Similarly, you might have some friends with whom you're not that close, but then you have constant conversations. So with these people, the problem that you generally face is that when you're supposed to give them some time. So with such people, you need to be more vocal about how you cannot really dedicate a lot of time to spend with them. For instance, if you have a group of friends, but then they're not really close to you, but still you hang out, and if you have something that is more important, something that adds more value to your life, you must be able to say no to certain proposals. You should be able to say no to a party if you have some project that you're working on. Now when it comes to close people like your family or your loved one, it is important to give them a lot of time because they will be expecting it from you, and so will you, because you will also be needing their time because they are the shoulders that you can lean on whenever you are having problems. However, when life happens and you take your own way, it is very likely that you might not be able to give a lot of time to your close ones. So it is important for you to communicate with them and tell them that for a certain time you'll be busy, and make up for that busy time some other time in the future. You can go for a vacation with your close ones, or just spend a weekend with them so that they feel special and they know that they still have an important place in your relationships. In a similar manner, another interesting thing that you can do is connecting with your old friends. So generally when life happens, you do not really get to connect to your old friends because you take different paths, you might have different interests and different careers. However, sometimes merely talking to your old friend, someone with whom you've not talked for quite some while, just texting them or giving them a call or setting up a meeting with them is very rejuvenating, because that will remind you of the old times, and one short meeting will assure to both of you that you still have a friend and that your connection is still the same, no matter how time has separated you to different places. So this is also a really nice thing to do in order to be happy and have a good circle of people. My personal experience is that earlier I was too hell-bent on having a lot of friends, but then slowly the circle became smaller and smaller by itself. I didn't really have to do anything, because you generally stick with people who actually click to you, people whom you can relate to. So make sure that you really value these people, because these people are the ones that will be together with you for a major portion of your life. Similarly, in this episode we also talked about how it's important to have your own space, and why it's important to be able to say no, because even if it's close relationships, when there are things that you need to accomplish, when there are projects that you need to do, you need to make it clear to your close ones that you will not be available for a certain time. It's very important to communicate, because as long as you do not communicate, you'll keep it within, and the others will also keep their feelings within, due to which it becomes toxic with time. If you like this video, do not forget to press the like button. Also, if you like whatever is happening here at Sound Health Solution, do not forget to subscribe to our channel. We've almost reached 10,000 subscribers. I would like to thank each and every subscriber from the bottom of my heart, and let's build up this community of spiritual practitioners and well-wishers and make this a bigger and bigger community. Until next time.